Good evening. Welcome to the regular Planning Commission meeting for the city of Reading for August 26, 2025. We apologize for being a little late today. Had a few technical issues. First, I will acknowledge that Commissioner Danny DiCarlo is here with me in the third floor conference room. I am Wayne Beeler. I am chairman of the Planning Commission. And online we have with us Nelson DeLeon and William Simpees. And I don't think James is with us today. But if James, I think James says he wouldn't be able to make it today. And Peter Rye is stuck behind a massive traffic accident in Philadelphia, so he will probably not make it today. Okay, we also want to point out that David Barr, head of the Community Development Department, is here. Simon Wangelo, the head of the Planning Department. Emily who's transitioning from zoning to planning, and our consultant Jerome Grinkowski. Okay, first on our list is to accept the Planning Commission meeting agenda as distributed. Okay, Danny motions. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Nelson. Okay, question on the motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay. And the motion opposed. Okay, the motion passes. I am still working on the previous meeting minutes, so we will do those next month. Is there anyone? I don't see anyone here for public comment. So we will move on to our subdivision land development plan reviews, starting with the parking lot for the Reading Parking Authority, and I'll hand it over to Jerome for the introduction.
Thank you. This plan has been submitted as a preliminary / final plan. This is the 905 Green Street annexation and land development plan that has been submitted by the Reading Parking Authority. Site is going to consist of 13,585 square feet and will include 35 parking spaces that will be owned and operated by the Reading Parking Authority. As mentioned, the site does contain 7 parcels of land that will be annexed and joined in common deed as part of this application. There were a number of site accessibility, parking, and loading issues that were brought up. The biggest being the PennDOT HOP would be required for improvements along North 9th Street. We also had some questions regarding the southern parking spaces in the center portion of the aisle and also at the end, just so that the full turning movements can be made. There were additional comments with regarding just signage and that to ensure that the local emergency management response agencies have the ability to make the turns. A waiver has been requested regarding the clear sight triangle of 75 feet. So this would be considered as part of this application. The existing curbs, sidewalks, and driveway ramps will be replaced as part of this project and will be included within the municipal improvements agreement. A stormwater management plan and report has been filed for this project, and we just have some technical issues that would need to be addressed, in which we feel that the applicant can comply. The erosion and sedimentation control plan would need to be approved by the Berks County Conservation District, so we would look for the letter of adequacy. And then the remaining comments are dealing with the approvals. A municipal improvements agreement would be required for this project, and a stormwater management maintenance agreement would be required for this project. So that concludes the review, and I believe the applicant may be here.
Yes, I'm here representing this project. So if I may, we have the approval from the Conservation District, and we got it back in May. I thought that we forwarded it previously, but we certainly can provide that again. As far as all of these other comments, there are really no comments that we feel that cannot be addressed. Stormwater, we can work out with the engineer. We've looked at all of the comments. We do not feel that we can't work any of these out. The PennDOT HOP, we've already discussed with the client, and we are in the process of starting that. And the issue with, what is it, 4C, the southern parking space, the eastern parking aisle, we can lose that. We tried to do the turning movements for that and we can't, so we will agree to lose that space. And
I want to
this,
point out that the arborist did approve the landscape.
Okay, and with this 75-foot clear site triangle, is that part of the updated ordinance?
No,
Yeah, we didn't get the updated ordinance approved yet, is that correct?
the updated ordinance would then lessen the amount of linear feet it is extended into the property, would still be maintained along the road or in both directions. So say, for example, let's use 75-foot clear site triangle here. It would be 75 feet on in either direction along Green Street. And but we would not go 75 feet into the property. That's the adjustment we made. They did show the visibility for the site distance and showed how it was they were able to comply with site distance for this area. So I think the waiver can be considered.
Very good. Do you have any comments, Tim?
With respect to the waiver, no, I don't have any comments. I would support the waiver for the 75-foot clear site triangle, but I do have some other comments. I believe this is Jeremiah, I think this is the first time that this has been presented to the Planning Commission, hasn't it? I don't remember seeing this prior to this meeting.
I believe it's the second review we had.
Okay.
But,
Because
yeah, this
I
is
do
the
have-
first time it's before the
Yeah, because I do have a few comments here. One is that this is a consolidation of several lots that used to be residential lots along that area. We know that there are, at least the one at the southern end has a trap indicating where a sanitary lateral serviced the home there at the southern end. But there were also probably other laterals through there. This could be as many as 4 or 5 of them. And anytime we get a subdivision like this where they're annexing and they're changing the use, and it's not going to be residential and they're not going to need those laterals, we like to have those sealed, properly closed and abandoned, so they don't cause problems in the future. So this is something we would want to see happen before the plan is, approved, before we call this a completed project, or as far as design. Public Works is going to investigate this. We'll look and see if we've got some video that shows what sanitary laterals are located. And then after that, we'll have to judge the condition of those and where they would need to be capped, if they could be capped behind the curb, or if they actually would have to be capped in the street at the main. We've done it both ways, depending upon the condition of those laterals. So right now, Public Works would be initiating an investigation on our end to see what those look like, and then we'll have to report back and let you know what we find with regards to those laterals. Okay, the next thing, I see that we have a no parking zone. This will be a new zone on Green Street to allow that safe site distance for the driveway, if I'm not mistaken. So we now have planned a no parking zone for Green Street. Any no parking zone has to receive approval from council. So the way we do that is the developer would need to send us a simplified drawing showing us where that is, so we can use it as an exhibit, where that no parking zone would be, highlighting the extent of it and the distance and where the no parking signs would be located. I know that's on the plan. It's a little hard to read for some people. So we would ask the engineer to submit something that we can use as an exhibit to go along with the ordinance. And I'll prepare the ordinance as I normally do, and we'll put that on the agenda for council to approve. And the third item I have is I notice that their signs will be replaced. And I notice we have a bus stop located on North 9th Street, right at the corner there with Green. And there's also a tree planting area, which may or may not conflict with the bus. It's something that we're recommending that be reviewed by BARDA to make sure that doesn't have a conflict. So that we make sure that we put the tree in a place that's not going to conflict with passengers getting on and off the bus. If that makes sense. Jen, does that make sense to you?
It does. None of this is anything that can't be dealt with.
Okay. Yeah, they're fairly simple comments. The only one I think that might cause a little bit of a problem, or how we're going to deal with those existing laterals, since those are going to be officially abandoned.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if, regardless of what you find, we'll certainly close them up, however,
Okay.
whatever you determine.
And when you do the HOP, since it's for a curb, to install the curb, because you're going to break the pavement to install the curb, it's
Right.
going to be done in the city's name. So the city is actually the applicant, but you'll be the agent. Have you done HOPs before where you use the PennDOT form that allows you to be the agent for the city?
I believe McCarthy has, I personally have not, but we have.
Yep.
here.
Yep. If you have any questions, let me know. We do it a lot. So
And you'll
I'd
work
be-
with us.
Yep, it'll
Okay.
allow you to submit it. You'll do it electronically on PennDOT's
Yeah.
electronic site. Shoot it
Okay.
over to me. Just fill out what you need to fill out, and I'll sign off and shoot it back so you can be the agent.
Okay,
And I think that's it for my comments, Mr. Chairman.
Good. Does any of the commissioners have any questions or comments on this? Hearing none, we will move on to the requested waiver. Do I hear a motion to grant a waiver of the 75-foot clear site triangle that is part of the Saldo paragraph 515-502.F7 and 515-704. Okay, Danny? Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Will. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it, and you have your waiver. considering that there is some investigation to be done. And did we receive Berks County comments on this
Yes, yeah, back in June.
back in June?
I
Great,
think that sounds the same thing.
great. So we would need an extension that next month.
We should get the extension now.
Get the extension now. Okay. Very good. Since we will need to table this, Jan, could you send us a request for a 90-day extension?
Because of the sewer extension,
Excuse me?
a 90-day extension for,
Plan review.
For plan review,
because of,
because of the investigation that Public Works has to do.
for the sewer laterals.
Yes,
Okay, so we can't get conditional until that's done, is what you're saying?
yes, because all that information needs to be put on the plan. Which might require some significant changes to the plan.
You'll probably need it for your HOP too. Those generally take several months to get.
The investigations.
No, not the investigation won't take several months. We could probably have that for you in a couple of weeks. But your HOP, generally they take 6 to 9 months.
Right, well, we were hoping if we at least got conditional, we could at least start bidding the projects, while the HOP was in the works, we could start bidding the project. Set up the escrow and do everything we need to do simultaneously, so that when we did get the permit, we were ready to go with the project.
Well, that would also require you to finish your municipal improvements agreement.
We could do one of two paths depending on the commissions. They could table it if you grant a time extension. They could deny it. I'm not recommending that. Or you could do a conditional. If they table it, we could have all the improvements and agreements and everything, so everything could be done next month and it would be a final, except for the PennDOT issue, the HOP. Or you could do conditional approval subject to investigation.
Or as another option, they could break the project up into some preliminary plan and then a final plan.
That's true, yes.
Because you have the application currently combined as preliminary / final, which makes sense because of the amount of improvements. But if it was broken up as a preliminary plan and then you bring it back as a final plan, then you would be able to entertain that option.
Can I ask you to repeat those 3 options again?
The commission, the one I'm not recommending is denying the plan. So the 3 true options would be tabling it with the grant of a time extension to allow for the investigation. And during that time period, we could finalize the improvements agreement. So it would, except the only condition would be the PennDOT when they came back for approval. The second one would be conditional approval. And the third one would be splitting it up between preliminary and final.
And that would allow you to go out for bid with an approved preliminary plan.
Is there any downfall, in your opinion, to taking the conditional approval?
I don't know if the commission is inclined to do that.
A question, Mr. Chairman, what does our planning
Yeah.
consultant recommend?
If they're looking at the bid thing and looking at what the Reading Parking Authority's looking to achieve in terms of going out for bid for this project, and if Tim agrees with me, I think to approve it as a preliminary plan only, and then bring it back as a final plan to address all those other issues that were brought up. Right now, it's combined as a preliminary slash final plan, which makes sense due to the amount of improvements for this project. But by splitting it up into two different applications, I think we can address the concerns that my letter has specified, as well as the comments that Tim has provided.
Well, that works for me. That's fine.
So,
The
so then
only
my,
concern to,
go ahead.
in full disclosure, is that they would have to pay the final application fee.
Yes.
Say that again.
There'd be a additional application fee to go to final.
Which you would be reimbursed for what was not utilized in the preliminary plan.
The way our escrows are working now, we cannot roll over any unused escrows from a preliminary to a final. Any unused escrow will be returned after the grace period, but if there's a final plan coming in, a new escrow account is simply created, so a new check would be required.
Okay. That's fine. I'd rather do that than table it and take the chances that it gets held up longer.
So my question, Mr. Chairman, is because it was presented as a preliminary final, would we need a motion to split it into a preliminary plan first and then vote on approval or rejection of it as a preliminary plan? 2 votes.
I think you can just do a motion to approve as a preliminary plan. To approve it as a preliminary plan, the understanding of the applicant, that's how they're presenting it now.
Okay, that's right, because we didn't move anything. It was just presented as such. That's clean and simple. All right, well then I move to approve the plan for the Reading Parking Authority lot on 905 Green Street annexation and land development plan as a preliminary plan.
Second.
Very good. And, okay, question on the motion. Would we like to, amend the, there we go, there's the word I'm looking for. Amend the motion to, say that, the, conditional approval is subject to the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the review letter issued by Hawk Valley Associates dated August 22nd, 2025.
Are there any issues that need to be resolved for preliminary approval?
Well, the ones that Tim had brought up, as far as the site investigation and those concerns, I mean, I think those could be, if Tim agrees, those could be deferred to the final plan requirements. But the comments in my letter, they could be deferred to the final.
Yeah, I don't have a problem
Tim,
with
did you
that.
hear
Yes, I heard, and I don't have a problem if it, yeah, if the board wants to consider that, I'll defer those for clearing up at the final plan stage.
Great. Okay, we have a motion and a second. We've had questions on the motion, so all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Okay, aye. Okay, opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. And we have the conditional preliminary approval so that the parking authority can start the bidding process.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we now move on to our second plan, the Partech Building 163 land development plan, and I'll hand it over to Jerome for the update.
Yes, we've reviewed this plan previously. It was tabled for lack of plan reviews by the county. This review is now dated August 23rd, 2025, and these are the remaining conditions or with respects to the revised preliminary plan. As mentioned, this will be located on tract 1, which is 92.21 acres of the Cartech property located at 1001 Schuylkill Avenue. This will be building 163, which would then be a proposed warehouse facility and office space that will be incorporated into the overall design in the vicinity of buildings 97, 97X, and 98. The remaining items that we have on the review letter is that just some minor issues with regarding to the setup of the plan views. There are no municipal improvements that would be required for this project. The applicant has obtained approval from the Berks County Conservation District for their E&S plan. And there are no other comments, just that the certifications of ownership and accuracy would need to be executed. As I mentioned, no municipal improvements would be required for this project, nor would there be any stormwater management improvements.
Any comments, Tim?
The only comment is there was a question from Deb Hogue, who's the manager of our utilities division, with respect to the sanitary sewer. There's a note on the plan that says that this building will not affect what was prior there. You know, what was previously, what's currently there now. So the pre and post development situation will be like a net zero. And we were just asking for some additional backup on that, some flows or employees, and the architect did submit something and is being reviewed by Deb. I don't expect that's going to be a problem. I think it's just a matter of getting something on record as far as the sanitary sewer and the sewer reservation concerned from her. So other than that, I have no other comment.
Any comments from the commissioners? Okay, are we ready for that? Yeah, figured. Since we hammered out everything last time. Okay, so do I hear a motion to grant the conditional approval of the revised preliminary final plan for the Carpenter Technology Building 163 Tactic Consolidation Plan located at 1001 Schuylkill Avenue, subject to the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the reviewed letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated August 23rd, 2025. Dan? Second?
Second.
Okay, Nelson? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Very good. Another partner project taken care of.
Thank you much.
And, oh, thank you. And thanks for joining us in person last month. Really appreciated that. We were able to get a lot of things hammered out. Yeah. And just want to mention that Peter Rye was able to join us, surprisingly, since he was stuck in Philadelphia. So welcome, Peter.
Thank you.
And we move on to our next plan of 601 South 9th Street Land Development Plan Phase 1. And I'll hand it over to Jerome for the update.
Okay. Since our last meeting, we were able to have a detailed discussion with the applicant regarding this project and the phasing scheme. That first of all, the project's located at 601 South 9th Street, which is going to be proposed as a parking facility with multiple uses that will be on 3 phases. The site is 32,230 square feet. As I mentioned, the phasing plan will change. So in order to consider the paving schedule or work schedule for the Public Works Department. Phase 1 will now have frontage along South 9th Street. Phase 2 will have frontage along South Street. And then phase 3 will have access along East Laurel Street. The internal components of the plan remain the same. It's just the phasing scheme has now changed. So what that does is changes how we approve the preliminary plan, because the preliminary plan was approved with the phasing plan that was proposed as part of that project. And then phase 1 of the plan, which is the focus of the final plan that has been submitted, would then just be limited to the, I said, curb, sidewalks, driveway ramps. The landscaping, which was approved by the city arborist, the signs, the security fence and gate, the erosion and sedimentation control measures, all of which have been considered and approved. In addition to that, we've also had some technical comments with regarding site accessibility, which were brought to the applicant's attention for revisions. The fire marshal has not provided us comments yet. The arborist has approved the plan. There are no stormwater management improvements for this phase of the project. However, there will be stormwater management improvements for phase 2. The erosion and sedimentation control plan for phase 1 will need to be approved by the conservation district. The municipal improvements agreement will be required for phase 1. The stormwater management maintenance agreement will be required when we get to phase 2. So although it sounds somewhat complicated, we had these initial discussions with the applicant last month, and now that these have been revised as per what makes sense for the Public Works Department and the applicant.
Very good. Is Dan here?
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. What we did, we changed that phase 3 off of East Laurel Street to coincide with Tim is expecting to possibly try to get that subsidence straightened up in next year's road program, and it could drift into 2027, I guess. So we've made that so that he keeps away from that area and doesn't monkey with it until the city gets done and decides what's actually wrong there and does any kind of mitigation, and then he can move ahead and he will build the sidewalk and the balance of that project. He's been moving ahead, and I think what we will be doing is try to get in for next month the plan for phase 2, because he has people who are interested in the buildings. So I think we can move ahead with that.
Do you have any comments, Tim?
Yeah, just to add on to what Dan was saying there is that for phase 3, the reason why Public Works needs to step in and affect that is that the street itself, South Laurel Street, is unstable. It has settled, and it is clearly within the jurisdiction of the city and Public Works to correct that. And it also affects the curb, the sidewalk, and even encroaches onto the onto the private property. And this is the reason why phase 3 really can't progress until that stabilized section of the East Laurel Street gets fixed. And that should be hopefully occurring next year. It'll depend upon the cost and the rest of the street program for next year and the cost of that, and how quickly we can get it designed. This is a medium-sized project. It's something that's above and beyond what we would normally do, like what we're doing right now on South Street. That's all going to get paved this year. The one on Laurel Street here, that's going to take a little more work. That's going to require some design. We'll have to bid that and get the site stabilized before they can move forward with the driveway and the parking area.
Very good. Any comments or questions from the commissioners?
I do have a question, Mr. Chairman. I didn't think of it Thank you. I didn't think of it before. Question for Public Works. Given that South Street is sloped fairly steeply here, I see there's a sewer grate there at the I guess that would be the western end of it.
Yes.
Has anybody observed during heavy rainfall whether that is adequate? And I ask that because a lot of times when there's a steep slope in the city during rain, it's not adequate. I don't know if a catch basin would be in order. I mean, does anybody take a look at how these things perform in stormy weather?
I'm not, I haven't, I'm not aware of anyone complaining about it. We could ask the owner.
Yeah,
I don't know that even if there was a flooding problem, I'm not so sure that I see any issues arising from any of the phases of this project that would
Right.
aggravate anything on South Street or
Right.
South 9th or East Laurel for that matter. I'm not seeing anything that would be detrimental or create an accelerated erosion or discharge concern. So if there is
Right.
something wrong, that would be up to Public Works to address. It would be coming from up the hill, from
Right. Yeah, I didn't know. I agree. I
upstream.
didn't think. Yeah, I didn't think the project would aggravate it at all or add to it in any way. I just was thinking while we're thinking about all this, because that's the last one on the line there for South Street, and
Right.
Just wondering if Mr. Loudenslater has noticed anything or if the owner has said anything about it.
Well, actually, phase two will, if there is a problem, it'll reduce it because basically it's all paved with old brick and whatnot. And the way the city looks at, if we put a building there, that'll be new impervious. And what we are doing is we're collecting that new impervious into an underground detention, and then it gets metered out in a slower rate. So
True.
it should decrease some of the impact on that catch basin will.
That's true. That's good.
Other comments? Hearing none, let's see here, we need to, do I hear a motion to accept a revised preliminary phasing plan to update what was approved to update the approval of the phasing of this project into 3 phases instead of 2.
I'll do
Yeah,
that. Peter,
okay. Peter? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then our second motion, do I hear a motion to grant conditional approval of the phase 1 final land development plan located at 601 South 9th Street, subject to the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated August 25th, 2025.
So move.
Okay, Nelson?
Second.
Danny? Okay, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, opposed? All right, and finally, do I hear a motion to authorize the chairman of the planning commission to execute the municipal improvements agreement? Danny? Second?
Peter,
Second.
Peter? Okay. Question on the motion? Excuse me. Question on the motion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have agreed to go ahead with finalizing phase 1. So and that way the applicant can move ahead with phase 2.
Dan, do you have our standard agreements, or do you need, can you email me if you need them?
Boy, I don't know if I have one. Could you send me something? And then I can work it up for
Can you
you.
send, can you send me can you send me an email? So I have your email address?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what's your email?
MMAYFIELD at H as in hat, V as in Victor, M as in Matt, L as in Luck, law.com. So it's 2 M's, AYFIELD at HVMLLAW.com, 2 L's.
Okay, I'll get something to you tomorrow.
Okay, just remind you, just a reminder, so I have your email address. Thank you.
Right, very good. Now we have that taken care of. We'll move on to the TMC lot consolidation and land development plan at 743 Thorn Street. And I'll hand it over to Jerome for the update.
Okay, last meeting, we had a lengthy review on this project. They will be going back to the historic preservation or the HARP for further review, and also the historic preservation officer for further review in terms of its impacts or if there's any implications related to historic preservation. This what we were going to do was focus on the points vehicular ingress and egress for the proposed parking area, which does contain 14 parking spaces, as well as the other 2 additional parking spaces that are required for this project. We were able to provide turning templates, which the applicant has applied to the plan and has shown, not on this plan, but on another one. We have the plan with the turning templates. There it is. So on this, it shows how vehicles will be able to turn, make all the turning movements onto Thorn Street. There will have to be a parking restriction applied to the plan that the applicant has identified as 28 feet from the residential parking lot. Would also have to extend beyond the garage that's located to the north. The east side of Thorn Street would then be restricted. I believe we're going to have about maybe 3 parking spaces that would have to be eliminated as possible on-street parking. But that was going to be our focus for this meeting. If we're in agreement with that, then the applicant can proceed with revising the plan accordingly. I attempted to provide you with some street view photographs, which would be the area that would be impacted. You could see the adjacent garage that I was referring to, but we were focusing on safe vehicular access in terms of sight distance, as well as our clear sight track.
Jerome, that 28 feet, actually it's from the property line of the parking lot north towards Douglas Street. It's only 20 feet to get to the end of the garage doors.
We would need some additional area though beyond that.
Well, then the
20
28 feet would cover that.
28 would cover.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything, Tim?
Yeah, so I'm glad we worked that out, and I agree this will need some no parking zones, and since that's new, these zones don't currently exist. This will have to go for council approval. And the reason why is because these are considered permanent changes to the traffic management on the city street. So Dan, I'm going to ask you, same as I did for the parking authority, if you could provide me, not this drawing because it's got too much stuff on it, a simple drawing to show where those the 28 feet and the other part to the south, you know, the complete length of that zone and where we're going to put those no parking signs. And then I'll write up the ordinance and get that on the agenda for council approval.
So what's the limits of the plan you
Well,
want?
well, where you're talking, it looks like you got 28 feet of restricted parking on the north side.
Yeah,
And then I'm looking at your honeycomb hatching. You have some on the south too? It looks like you'll need that for,
yeah, you need that so that the people can back out of the residential lot. Because
yes,
they drive in and then there's no room in there that you could stick a
Right.
car in there. So you lose the whole, basically the whole width of that property, which
Mhm.
is 67 and 18 feet plus the 28 feet.
right. So if you could give me a drawing, you don't need to put the turning movements on there because that just kind of clutters it up
Okay.
for exhibiting the no parking zone. Where you have the honeycomb hatching, if you just want to like highlight that and show where those no parking signs are going to go, I think that should make a pretty good exhibit.
Well, what kind of no parking sign do you want to have?
Oh, it'll be just the official MUTCD, what PennDOT requires, no parking. We can go over that later. It's the standard no parking sign. Yeah, we can't do custom signs. We've tried that with schools. It doesn't work. We have to use the standard PennDOT MUTCD signage so that it's enforceable.
Yeah, the thing is, you go on their sign book and there's like 300, and there's not a good index to find the right number. So I was looking to see what is it, like no parking between signs, or what sign are we looking for there?
Yeah, why don't send me an email asking that question. I typically we do use no parking between signs to make it clearer, and then also we accentuate that by putting yellow paint on the curb. The yellow paint is not enforceable, but it helps to distinguish where the zone is located. It is a little difficult with the signage. It's the signage that makes it enforceable.
Well, I can actually color the curb yellow then on my drawing. I can leave the honeycomb in there for no parking areas, and that'll make it clear and take the turning movements off. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Yeah, and then you go ahead and for now, at least use the signs that say no parking between signs.
Okay.
Any questions from the commissioners?
I'm good.
We're good with time.
Hearing none.
The other thing as an update is I should be getting an ENS approval letter on this project and 601 South 9th Street here this week.
Okay, great. Okay. We good on top? No, we can't. It's going back. Let's go back to Harp.
The HARP doesn't need to approve the actual parking though, it's just to redo the boundary line.
Yeah, I think the question that seems to be raised is one that I had myself. Good evening, I'm Rob Lewis, I'm counsel for the applicant. Just if I could get some clarity on why this matter would be sent back to the HARB.
There seems to be a question that with the subdivision, the boundaries of the HARB would change, and that would have to go back to the state of Pennsylvania to redraw the boundaries.
But the actual improvements itself isn't dependent on the redrawing of the boundary.
Correct, and the HARB, I believe, only issues certificate of appropriateness for actual physical construction requiring a building permit, and so to the structures themselves. And I'm not arguing with the boundary issue. I understand if it's tied to a parcel number, I understand that. I just know that my client is eager to move forward with the project.
Subdivision.
It was a subdivision of the parcel that was incorporated into the historic district. And then now that now that this property is gonna be divided, just that there's clarification that this would not be part of that historic district. That makes sense.
So the portion of the 730 North Third Street being located in the historic district, and now with the annexation of a portion of that 730 North Third Street lot by the 743 Thorn Street property. Is that, I mean, I believe all three properties are technically within historic districts, right? One is Center Park District, the other two are Queen Anne District. So they're all subject to historic district boundaries.
Well, to my knowledge,
The Queen Anne district is a federal district, which that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother can of worms, but that doesn't, but that wouldn't go before the HARB. It would only be the Center Park Historic District questions that go before the HARB.
And am I correct, and I apologize for not knowing the answer myself, I hate it, but that the Center Park Historic District boundary is determined by a parcel number as opposed to a meets and bounds description, and that's why the annexation creates a change in the boundary?
The subdivision would create the boundary change. The annexation would be the rest of the property being then annexed to the restaurant.
And so I guess my question is, can we obtain from, are we in a position, I know that we may not be due to the need for the no parking approval, but are we in a position to obtain a conditional approval as I heard earlier this evening, so that my client can try and move forward with the other requirements, including obviously development agreements and so forth?
Tim, what is your comment regarding conditional approval with the outstanding no parking?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, I could hear that.
Would you have any concerns with the conditional final approval, knowing that they have to go to council for the no parking?
Well, council, I've done this many times. Council has never rejected one. We basically do it because it's a permanent change. And it seems pretty obvious. I would say it's a pretty good chance they're going to approve it, but of course, I can't speak for them entirely. I don't have a problem with it.
So a condition, if this commission so decides, would be obtaining the no parking from council.
Yeah, so just so we're clear, the actual improvements for the parking area do not require HARB approval. It's the basically redrawing of that boundary to exclude the portion that's being taken from 730 North Third and being annexed to the parking, the 743 Thorn and 220 Douglas.
So it's realigning the HARB district.
Yeah, that's what requires HARB approval, not the actual improvements of the parking.
Or council approval.
That was my understanding as well, Emily. Thank you.
So, I mean, if we're conditioning the approval on approval of council, on council approving the no parking area, and also then HARB redrawing their line, if something were to fall off or it requires time, it's condition, the approval is conditional.
I'm fine with those conditions, so, the commissions, but I have no concern with those, if approval is granted with those conditions.
And if I may just state that if it does come to council and the precedence is that we have passed it, I don't see a reason why it won't. What I will comment on is also the HARB. If it does go to HARB and it's not approved by HARB, there may be an appeal. I've seen appeals from HARB at council, and then it'll be up to council at that point to make that determination. Dependent on that one would depend on but I don't want to say precedence as first. But on yeah. I think on public,
Yeah, well, I think this is the first time that we've ever needed to redraw a boundary. So, okay, let me just update my notes here. Yeah, I have that. And the sort of, okay. Very good. Okay, any other questions or comments on this? All right. Do I hear a motion to grant conditional preliminary final approval for the TMC annexation and land development plan located at 743 Thorn Street, subject to council approving the no parking ordinance for Thorn Street and the historic Architectural Review Board approving the boundary changes of the Center Park Historic District, and also subject to the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated July 18th, 2025.
Mr. Chairman, the only comment is, I believe, and I'm trying to confirm, the districts are set by council. So it would be either by HARB or council, whoever has the appropriate authority to change that boundary line. If it is.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me do this one more time. I withdraw that. Okay, do I hear a motion to grant conditional preliminary final plan approval for the TMC annexation and land development plan located at 743 Thorn Street, subject to the approval of the no parking area by council and the approval of the modified boundaries of the Center Park Historic District as required by as approved by either the HARB or council, and also subject to the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated July 18th, 2025.
So move.
Okay, Nelson? And a second from Danny? Yeah. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? All right. And then the next is do I
Thank you,
hear a motion
everybody.
to authorize? Okay, well, thank you. We're not quite done yet. Do I hear a motion to authorize the chairman of the planning commission to execute the municipal improvements agreement and the stormwater management maintenance agreement? Okay, Danny, second?
Second.
Okay, Nelson? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. The
Thank you
ayes have
again,
it.
I
Well,
guess.
thank you very much.
Mr. Lewis, if you need my email, if you could send me an email for me to send you the standardized agreements, I would appreciate that.
Sure, and just, I think I got it down on the prior one, is it, but can you repeat it once more?
Sure, it's MMAYFIELD at H as in hat, B as in Victor, M as in Matt, L as in luck, law.com.
Perfect, thank you.
2 M's and 2 L's.
Thank you so much.
I know.
I guess I should
Okay.
make an improvements agreement estimate. I didn't do it on this one. So I'll have to get,
No, you have not.
so I'll have to get an estimate for you.
Okay, very good. Okay, next up, we have the Reading Housing Authority Oak Brook Recreation Park Land Development Plan. And I'll hand it over to Jerome. This is the first time we're seeing this.
First time.
Yeah.
This proposal was prepared and submitted by the Reading Housing Authority. It's for the Oak Brook Recreation Park. It is a land development plan which includes site improvements to the Oak Brook community, which would include a press box, 2 dugouts, some site accessibility improvements, some utility improvements, and some stormwater management improvements that will be completed on the ball field area. The plan was submitted to us as a preliminary / final plan application. Site is in the R3 zoning district, and the landscaping plan, although did not include any new trees, the arborist had just questioned if there were going to be any new proposals, and we can come back to that one a little bit later. Other than that, there were some technical comments regarding stormwater management, in which the applicant should be able to resolve. A erosion and sedimentation control plan is required for this site, and I believe the applicant has received the letter of adequacy for this project. We do need the Berks County Planning Commission review. Not sure if we've got this was sent or we've got.
Oh, that's right. We
have a copy of it.
And our the engineer has brought copies.
Good. There will be municipal improvements involved with this project, so a typical municipal improvements agreement will be required. A stormwater management maintenance agreement may be required. There are just minor stormwater management improvements. We can lump them together with the municipal improvements agreement if you so do choose. We've done that on other similar projects. But they're just small. We have not received cost estimates for the improvements as of yet. That concludes the main comments for this review.
Any comments, Tim?
Yeah. Is anyone here representing the Housing Authority? Or the
Yes, we
engineer?
have yes, Randy Downstream.
Oh, okay, very good. Good.
Yeah,
Just a
I
quick
have to speak up a little bit because I said it.
Yep. Randy, good. Are there any bathrooms associated with this improvement?
No.
Okay.
Not this phase.
Yep. I didn't see any. I just thought I'd ask. Yeah, if there is a future phase, we'd have to talk about sewer connections and this sort of thing. We'd have to look at the planning modules. And it's a little interesting too, because this is part of a much bigger lot. It's a very, as you know, what is it? 15 acres or something like that. It's a very large lot. 25, yes. Very, very large. So with the stormwater management, what is the total net new impervious? Do you know?
It's on the plan. I don't have that in front of me, the plan.
I was looking. Oh, Dave's there. Now I can see Dave. Now you moved and I saw you. So it looked like it wasn't very much. It looked like you were in like 1,100 square feet. I think I saw that in your report.
You have the sheets up there prior, but I can go back to the sheets. It's all the
Well,
proposed site plan sheet.
Here's the thing. If the net new impervious area is only 1,100 square feet, right now we are tentatively unofficially using 1,000 square feet as the de minimis to qualify for stormwater management ordinance. In other words, if you're under.
Recording in progress.
I don't know what that was.
Tim, it's 2,199 square feet.
That's the net new?
Is that from my report?
That's from your report.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought
You
maybe,
know what? My actual new impervious was 4450, but I still had an extra for the exemption. And then the difference was from the exemption, the 2200 you can see from the previous project.
2251.
Yeah.
And then 2199, so it would be. Oh, it looks like 100 square feet. Difference. Project used the remaining 2,251 square feet of impervious area under the stormwater management exemption requirements. 2 infiltration beds will be constructed to control the additional 2,199 square
That's
feet.
what the additional is above the exemption.
okay, okay. So it is well over 1,000 square feet.
Yes.
Okay, all right, all right. I just wanted to see that. And will you be requesting the exemption? Because I noticed in the comments, there was some discussion about rate control. Do you know, does it meet the exemption requirements for rate control?
No. But
Oh.
I meet the rate control. I meet the rate control anyhow with the infiltration beds.
Okay, very good.
And then
Okay,
I made all my revisions as far as the stormwater. And the only thing that's outstanding is trying to schedule infiltration testing. The inlet that you had to comment about, that has been reset out of the pathway and drains into the infiltration bed. That was in one of your comments.
Tim, did they do testing at the other portion of this site?
Yes, I'm sorry.
yeah, ask the engineer.
Yeah, and that's the rates, that's the rates I use, but
Okay.
they said I couldn't use that across the
Yeah.
site. So
And I don't have a problem with that because it's all the same geology out there. I will say you're sitting next to the historian there. Dave knows this site with respect to sinkholes. I think he'll tell you that there is some history of sinkholes in this area. So that's just my comment is just be of concern where you're locating the infiltration bed. You want to make sure that it's not near where we have some historic sinkholes. I don't know, Dave, if you want to kind of explain that a little bit.
Yeah, they are clearly away from those areas, Tim.
Okay,
that
good.
intersection of Brookline and Patton, we're over on the south side of like towards Scott Street.
Yes,
So
yes.
they're in a different area.
Okay, good. Good to know. Okay, those were my only comments. The rest of it looked good.
Any comments or questions from the commissioners? Our question after what Tim said, am I required to do infiltration testing or can I use my old test from the previous project we just had there?
So. Tim, you can use the old one, right?
I have no problem with it. I don't think Michael Hartman would have a problem. We've done
He
this
just
on
brought
other
it-
projects.
He brought it up as a concern, and I think you had to make
Right.
sure that it was authorized.
And Randy's using somewhere in the neighborhood of 3/4 of an inch to an inch per hour, and that's very standard. We see that all over the city. That's a pretty typical infiltration rate, and I don't have any problem with that.
We see if we did get the reviews, so I can process it. Okay, with that, do I hear a motion to grant conditional preliminary final plan approval for the Reading Housing Authority Oak Brook Recreation Park Land Development Plan located at 1001 Scott Street, subject to the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the reviewed letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated August 21st, 2025.
Mr. Chair, I think the only, the letter dates may be required for stormwater agreement based on the conversation and time the stormwater agreement will be required.
Okay.
To be subject to the letter with that change.
Okay, let me try that again. to grant conditional preliminary final plan approval for the Reading Housing Authority Oak Brook Recreation Park Land Development Plan located at 1001 Scott Street, subject to the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated August 21st, 2025, with the correction that a stormwater management maintenance agreement will be required for this project. Okay, Danny, second,
Peter,
Second.
Peter? Okay. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Oppose? Okay, and then follow up with that, do I hear a motion to authorize the chairman of the planning commission to execute the municipal improvements agreement and the stormwater management maintenance agreement as required?
So move.
Danny? Okay, Nelson? Okay, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming in today, and I do want to mention that forget what, if that's Brookline or, well, anyway, where that intersection is, where where the authority building is. It took years to get that all straightened out there. And I see that Reading something or other across the street is finishing up their side.
Yeah, Reading
Final.
Brook and Masano Auto Group went in to finish that section because they share that entrance area.
Yeah, so that's turning out really, really great. And once again, that was a project that the city and the housing authority had to really work on together for years to get it all correct. So it's the other thing I want to mention is that, of course, since the housing authority is federally funded, yes, I want to mention that in all the years I've been here, 21 years, the housing authority has consistently in that 21 years used funding to make things better for your residents. And this is just another upgrade to make things better for your residents.
Thank you very much. We do a lot of planning, and part of that planning, I've been there for 42 years and 36 in this position. And every unit we have is a new kitchen, a bathroom, a roof, windows, siding, flooring. The living conditions, the buildings are in excellent condition. I am now revisiting some of those same projects. We have about a 3 or 4 year window that we can use our capital funds to improve community spaces, office spaces, and everything that will benefit the residents outdoors. And that's what we've been focusing on. So we really appreciate your cooperation and the ability to work with the city on those projects.
Mr. Chairman, if I may say a few things.
Go ahead, Nelson.
Yeah, as a former housing authority commissioner, I second what you said. When I was there, I think that every project that came before us was to improve the lives of the residents and the surrounding community. So I'm not surprised that things are moving in the same direction.
Thank you, Nelson.
You're welcome.
Do you have email address?
Mike,
Do you have email address?
I got it. It's all got it.
Okay, so,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, well,
and my question is, in light of all the comments, which I agree with, but this field is open for the public in this neighborhood to use, right? Because there's no fencing to fence it off. Is that correct?
there will be fences in place to prevent dirt bikes and four-wheelers and things like that to get on the infield and do damage. There will be gates in place. We're looking now at a system, an electronic entry system that we can program days and times that it'll be open to the public without having to have staff on site. So yes, we're considering all those things. We do realize that this is community money and the field should be available to the community.
Thank you. That's a prudent answer. And we've it sounds familiar, doesn't it, Mr. Chairman? We encountered some of those issues in other projects as well, and how to make it accessible, but not but be able to maintain it from situations just like what was said. So we certainly understand that and commend you for your thinking on that. So wish you all the best with the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. Take care.
Thanks again, and
Oh, and Mr. Chairman,
once again, thanks for coming in.
Mr.
Yes, Dave.
Chairman, yeah, before Dave leaves, I just want to say too, I agree with everything that's been said, and working with Dave has been a real pleasure. He is a very good ambassador for the city and a great person to get things managed with. Even though it took 5-6 years, Dave, to get Liggett Avenue, get that intersection done. It was really nice to get that finally finished up. Actually, there's still a couple more phases left. Right now, they're working on the Reading truck body, which is that side off to the east toward the railroad tracks. That's under construction right now by Reading truck body. And then, of course, there's Hancock Boulevard, the wonderful Hancock Boulevard. It will also be completely reconstructed, just like we did the Liggett Avenue and the East Wyomissing Boulevard. We will be digging that right down to the dirt and repairing it 15 inches down and rebuilding that street all the way up. And that's going to be starting, well, it was supposed to start this month. It still might, but probably it'll be the first week of September when we get into the full construction of that. Alan Myers is all set up and ready to go. And now that UGI is done, I think we're ready to start on Hancock and finish that up. So thanks to you, Dave. Appreciate the work.
Anything we can do to help, we love the collaboration. We appreciate it.
Yep, very good.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening, Jeff.
You too.
Okay, very good. Next on the agenda is the Albright Learning Commons Gingrich Library renovation project, which we approved last month. Is there an update?
We have all the approvals now. We have the Conservation District has issued their approval or the letter of adequacy, as well as I think we were missing the First County Planning Commission review last time. We have it now. So I mean, everything is in order. Did we make a motion of approval for it last month? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then this is just to make note that those items have been in place. We just have to now determine whether or not a municipal improvements agreement and or stormwater management maintenance agreement would be required for this project. The other option is to tie it to the building permit requirements. They are just minor improvements. This project. Tim, do you have anything on that?
You know, I didn't look at it from the standpoint of a stormwater management. I'd have to go back and is there a stormwater? You know, I can't remember. I remember what was there for the library, but I don't remember what's there for this one.
There was stormwater management improvements on the previous plan when it was more of a bigger project. There are no stormwater management improvements other than just grading improvements. So
yeah, well, if there's no BMPs, then there's really no need for an agreement. Then I don't see any reason for that. As far as the other improvements, I'm not sure.
They're all internal improvements. They're all internal improvements that really are not public. Like, well, they would be utilized by students and faculty for Albright, but they're not along the public street.
There's not along a right of way, correct?
Correct. So I would. We can consider them as part of the building permit as an option.
Has the issue with the location of the fire hydrants and all of the fire safety stuff been addressed?
Fire and Rescue has had this now for 3 or 4 times. The old plan had fire hydrant modifications. This one does not.
And I forget who the fire marshal was in contact with, but
The previous plan before this.
no, for this one.
No. I think it was in there as a condition of approval.
No, we're good, I can just.
It was number 8.
Okay, great. Okay, very good. Then we will move on to the City of Reading 19th Ward Pump Station.
So
Yeah.
no actions required on the learning center.
We approved it last.
They had just submitted an updated plan.
Sorry.
Okay, and I'll turn it over to Jerome for the update.
Okay, so the 19th Ward Pump Station, which is on Stone Cliff Park, was previously approved by the Planning Commission on October 22nd, 2024, subject to those conditions at that time. The NPDES permit has now been issued by Berks County Conservation District via the Pennsylvania DEP. That will need to be noted on the plan that will be recorded. Public Works Department shall verify if all utility connections, the sewer, water, electric, gas, and telephone have been approved by the agencies with jurisdiction. This is for the pump station itself or the building itself. The other items were just that the certificates of ownership and accuracy would be recorded. A municipal improvements agreement would be required for this project, as well as a stormwater management maintenance.
I'd have to review my notes, but there's something between the county. I think there are agreements circulating. I will confirm.
Michelle, if you're referring
Those
to the,
agreements were-
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm the engineer on the project.
I
believe
can't
those
see it.
agreements have- It's Carl.
Okay.
Those agreements have been combined into one and they have been signed at this point.
I knew there was something unusual about it and it wasn't our standard, so.
Yeah, I think it took a solid 7 months to get those put together. But yes, we've moved them forward. They have been signed. I suppose I haven't sent them to you, Jerome, sorry.
The action that will also be required is the plan would require reaffirmation.
Yeah, and I have that later on.
Right.
We just have to circulate to make sure those agreements were recorded or wherever they are, so.
We haven't recorded anything yet.
Okay,
We're
so,
waiting on final signatures on plans and everything else to get it all done at the same time.
okay.
So the conditions of approval have now been narrowed down to the letter that I issued on August 23rd.
And then a little bit later in the meeting, we will do the reaffirmation. Okay, any questions or comments on this project by the commissioners? Yeah. Okay, next up, we have the PSO Luzerne Street Place subdivision and land development plan. And I'll hand it over to Jerome for the update.
This plan was previously reviewed by the Planning Commission. The applicant has revised the plan accordingly. It's still going to be located on 5 parcels of land containing 20,700 square feet, which will then be redivided for 8 townhouses. And this will be located between 1400 and 1422 Luzerne Street. We do have a number of comments still on the review letter. Mostly a lot of technical comments dealing with stormwater management. And there are also some significant comments dealing with site accessibility, in which I'll defer to those. The remaining issues on the project are pretty well straightforward. As mentioned in our previous review, for site accessibility, we are going to be looking at a connection from Luzerne Street along the West Shore bypass right away to connect into the 15-foot alley in the back. Most of our discussion is with the width of the alley being 15 feet. And what we commented on, if that's going to be for two-way travel, we believe that should be no less than 16 feet and should be designed as part of our design criteria as 22 feet. As mentioned, it's already recognized as a 15-foot wide alley. There are utility poles that are located along the alley, which would prohibit it from being widened. So there are a number of things that we still need to discuss, and my recommendation is to have a site meeting with staff from Public Works, planning, zoning, as well as representatives from the applicant. There is a sharp turn that is going to be connecting from the proposed conditions to the current conditions, which would ultimately then feed to the off-street parking spaces for the 8 townhouse units. So I think we need to walk the site and also determine what the improvements are going to be ultimately provided. If it's deemed unsafe in terms of site accessibility for two-way travel, then we should look at our options for one-way travel. But I think we need to look at that at the site. Tim?
Yeah, I think that's where we left it last time. I think a site meeting is probably the best thing. And we also talked about planning modules, since there are 5 lots,
Yes.
but eight units. That's another one on my list.
Yeah, Tim, if I could jump in there, I did
Sure.
ask the question. There are 5 addresses, 5 lots today. So does that mean there's 5 EDUs set aside and there's really only 3 new EDUs?
Typically when that's a question we often get. It really won't cost you any more to get 8 as opposed to 3, just to cover it.
Can you write that down for me?
Yeah, sure. Send me an email and I'll copy Deb Hogue on it, because this is her territory with the EDUs. It's always better to bypass the assumption that each lot has 1 EDU and just go for the full number of 8 EDUs, one for each unit.
But how does it cost no more to have 5 extra EDUs?
I'm sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
How is there not a cost increase from 3 to 8?
Yeah, there is no cost to reserve that in the city of Reading, and there's no tapping fee in the city of Reading.
Is there an EDU fee?
No, there's no fee. There's no fee for the EDUs.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's in the city of Reading. Now, we're only speaking for this municipality. Yeah, if you're in Spring Township and you're discharging, to the treatment plant, that's a different set of rules over there.
Yeah. Typically it's $5,000 or $6,000 in EDU. So
It is. Yes. And then there's a tapping fee. Well, sometimes they're combined. And then there's inspection fees too. And right at the moment, we don't even have a cost to do the permit for the tapping and connection fee.
Okay, then we'll submit. I assume there'd be a fee, but if there's not even a fee, then yeah, we'll do 8.
You're welcome to send an email, copy Deb Hogue on that, and she can confirm that to you.
Okay.
It's gonna be awkward.
And as far as
The turn, that's gonna be required.
the 22 feet for 8 lots.
You broke up there, Tom. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, as far as the driveway width, I can see going from 15 to 16, but over 16 seems excessive for 8 lots, especially if this remains essentially a dead end alley. There wouldn't be anybody else using it besides those 8.
That's why we need to do the site meeting. The biggest thing I think we have is the utility pole, the utility poles. But the one utility pole that's located right on at Luzerne,
Correct.
and that's the biggest problem. I think once we get by that hurdle, then we could then determine what the appropriate width would be.
All right. Well, the site meeting, I guess, is penciled in for this Friday.
Oh, I can't do this Friday.
Okay.
I mean, it would have to
Tim,
be out.
yeah. Tim, can you do it at Wednesday or Thursday?
You mean tomorrow?
Yeah. Sorry. I will be out. I mean,
I can't do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's budget day.
how about, can you do Thursday?
Let me see about Thursday.
How about you, Tom?
I can do Thursday past about 11 or Thursday early.
Okay. Get those times to yeah.
Okay.
Jim, confirm if Thursday works for you, then we can have that locked in.
Okay.
And so,
and then Simon can then distribute the timing of it. Yeah, I like to get this resolved as soon as possible.
okay.
We probably should have done it last month, but I mean, I think we need to jump on this while the weather's still going to be clear.
Well, we're going through erosion control anyway with Berks County, so we're looking at probably next month their approval, so we could just dovetail with that.
Okay.
Very good.
Sounds excellent. Okay, 2 questions for you, Tom. Did you submit the planning module yet?
No, I just had a discussion about 5 versus 8, and I was originally thinking the 5 would be I was thinking the 5 would be in the bag, and that we're saving $5,000 or $6,000 in EDU. But if EDUs are free, essentially, then yeah, we'll apply for 8.
Yeah, I think that would be. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So, the other thing that we would need, since this site meeting might require significant changes to the plan, could you send us a time extension for the review?
Sure.
Very good. Yeah, I'm also available during those times. So anytime after, you said 11.
Yeah, 11 will be work. Yep. Very good.
So yes, I'm.
Are you open the whole of that afternoon?
The whole afternoon.
So, I guess I need to make a motion for the time extension.
That's I'll send it to Timberlake and Harvey.
Why don't we do? Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Tom, can you give us 90 days on that time extension? Not that we think it's going to take that long.
Okay.
Okay.
Or can we do just because of timing and holidays and things through what's this, August? The November, like maybe either December 1st to make sure we catch the November.
Okay. All right.
PC meeting.
Yes. Is time extension until December 1st work for you, Tom?
Yeah, I don't think we'll need it, but we'll provide it. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, because I doubt we're going to need it too. That way, I have something to give a motion to.
I'll take that picture.
The, next, is. Okay, any questions or comments from the commissioners? Okay, hearing none. Do I hear a motion to accept a request for time extension until December 1st for review of this plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter,
Second.
Okay. Okay. Time extension, Peter for first and Nelson as the second, so we can give Danny a break. Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so now we have our time extension. Do I hear a motion to table the PSO Luzerne Street subdivision land development plan located at 1400 to 1422 Luzerne Street?
I'll move
Danny?
it.
Second?
Peter,
Okay, Will? Okay, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it, and we have this tabled, but I think we'll get some good progress next month.
Very good. Thanks.
And thank you, Tom, and we'll see you next month.
You got it.
Okay. Next up, we have an update for the Third Street Shopping Center sketch plan review. And we're going to, that is scheduled for the workshop meeting of September 16th.
Here,
Yes.
we'll be willing to talk a little bit about the commission.
Yes, so actually, we have the executive director of the
Berks IDA, Berks County Industrial Development Authority, rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I am so bad with names.
Jeremy Zaborowski. Yeah,
Jeremy.
Executive Director of Berks IDA. So we acquired the property that the Third Street Shopping Center will be going into. So I saw it was on the agenda tonight, so I came just to be able to answer any questions, but I'm glad to come to the workshop and go into more detail as well, to be a resource for you. So, do you want to give a comment, or you just want me to give the background about what we're doing and where we're at?
So you could just give us a little bit of background. We have a guest here from Governor Mifflin who's learning about urban planning.
Okay.
And industrial development is certainly part of that.
Yeah, and my backgrounds are planning support. So yes, the Industrial Development Authority for Berks County sees ourselves as the developer of last resort. So we're typically taking on the projects that a typical developer would not take on because the return on investment is effectively zero or negative. So other projects that we've done is Berks Park 78 up on 78 501 in Bethel. And then Berks Park 183 on 183. We're a governmental entity, our naming conventions are pretty typical for that. So Berks Park 183 on 183, it's right behind the Reading Airport. It was an old World War II base that we reclaimed, remediated, cleaned up, and now there's 500,000 square feet on the site, and we're in the process of entitling, getting the permits for the final 160,000 square feet that's buildable on the site, and then that one will be complete. So 2.5 years ago now, we started the process of acquiring the Glidden site. And we bought it, officially closed on it in February of this year. So it took 2 years to buy it because of the environmental challenges associated with the site. Many people have tried it and walked away because it's complicated to be able to redevelop a site like that. In order to redevelop a site like that, you really need to have an alignment of 4 things. So you need a buyer, you need the seller, you need a design for the site, and then you need the State Department of Environmental Protection. And all four of those things need to align. All of them need to align because to redevelop that site, to get the state to sign off on it, to get the seller to sign off on it, you need a plan that makes sense, that the state will approve, that says, okay, if you implement this plan, this will manage the environmental challenges associated with that site. And so when the state says that, the state signs off and enters into what's called a buy-sell agreement, which is effectively an agreement between the buyer and the seller that if we clean up the site in line with the developer's plans, then the state will indemnify both the seller and the buyer from all the environmentals on the site, because we've effectively done what the state has asked us to do for environmental compliance. So the IDA came into that role 2 years ago to work all of that out and sort all of that out. The developer, Third Street Shopping Center, is Schumann Development Group. Their plan, if you're familiar with the site, it's 20 acres with a railroad that cuts about 5 acres off from the rest, or 5 and change off of the rest. And then there's a small lot south of Burn Street that is also part of that property. We have partnered with Schumann Development Group, who was taking the 15 acres south of the railroad and putting in a shopping center, and that's the design that is sketch form in front of you. We will be keeping the 5 and change north of the railroad, and we are planning to develop that for industrial purposes. Either we ourselves will do it, or we're partnering, where we're negotiating with a developer who might take over that portion, just like Schumann Development Group takes over the southern portion. We're the owner of record, we're the ones on it, but Schumann Development Group is developing the design, so we will be signing off. And I guess we didn't get that into you yet. I'll get that over to the Planning Commission tomorrow. But we had to sign off on it, which means we have our own environmental engineers that are reviewing all of the developers' designs to ensure that they are compliant, they're in full compliance with the state requirements for cleanup. So you're not only getting their engineer reviewing it, you're not only getting your engineer reviewing it, you're also getting the IDA's engineer reviewing the work to make sure it's fully in compliance. For this project, we hired HDR. HDR specializes in environmental cleanup sites. They've handled all of the work for Bethlehem Steel. They are the principal engineering firm on behalf of NGK for the NGK site, Muhlenberg Township. So we have them reviewing all of the work to make sure it will be in compliance with our state required environmental cleanup for the site. And so they've signed off on this design in the sketch form that now Schumann Development Group submitted to you. But I wanted you to know who the actual owner of the site is at the moment. And I wanted you to know that we are reviewing anything before it's being submitted to you to make sure that it would not invalidate our agreement with the state, because that's in our interests, it's in the city's interests, and helps to keep everything moving in a productive fashion. But I wanted you to know who I am. I'll be at the workshop as well. I expect to be able to be at the workshop. I gotta double check my calendar. But if you have any questions, I wanted you to see the face that's attached to the IDA and what we're up to. Any questions on that? We're a public authority, akin to your Reading Redevelopment Authority or Berks County Redevelopment Authority, 5-member board, 25 commissioners, 2-person staff.
And actually, I'll point out that Paige Brookings is here with us from the Redevelopment Authority.
Yes, and I've worked with Paige, so the IDA, just as an aside, not germane to what we're talking about right now, but we, as part of our work in getting ourselves acquainted with doing work in the city, because this is the first land we bought in the city in our 55-year history. We worked with the Redevelopment Authority and the Greater Berks Development Fund to do the environmentals for the Panoptical site, which is owned by the Redevelopment. So we have hired the engineer to do the review of that site, the phase 1 and phase 2. Us and Deb Millman with the Greater Berks Development Fund have hired that person, hired that firm to go and do the environmentals for that site. We are nearly at the finish line. We just have a cement pad we got to get removed so that we can test underneath it to meet DEP's requirements. We're just waiting to get approval to remove a 8-foot by 8-foot pad, and then we will be done on the environmentals for the Panoptical on behalf of the Redevelopment Authority. So we hired the engineer, applied for what's called ISRP funds, Industrial Sites Reuse Program funds from the state. We're awarded those. We are chipping in the 25% match. So that the redevelopment authority hasn't had to put in anything for it, either in terms of bidding, in terms of the grant application, or in terms of the match that was required for the project. We paid for all of it as a effort to try to support the transit-oriented development of the downtown and to get involved more in the city as we took on with it. So I'm glad to see a page. Been actively talking about redevelopment.
That's great, because there was a time when cooperation between the county and other authorities, it's not nearly as good as it is now. We've come a long way.
And if there's any ways that the IDA can be a good team player, tell us, because we want to demonstrate that. We actually, David asked us to participate in a trivia night that I'll soon be losing at. So I look forward to doing that. Just anything we can do, even if it's in a social function, not just a professional function, because I think that that's a key ingredient to success in our community, and it's how we've had success at our industrial parks.
Any questions or comments, Tim?
No, nice to see the Burks Park 78. It's been a while since I've seen that. I was the project engineer on that when I was with SSM, so it's nice to see that refreshed every once in a while. Looking forward to working with this one. This will be a nice project. Finally, something out there on that vacant lot. Yes.
And knock on wood, Tim, believe it or not, we are hopefully in the next couple of months closing out the NIPTs on Burks Park 78.
All done. How about that? Finally.
Yeah, we sold the last lot when I got here in 19.
Yes.
All right. Any questions or comments from the commissioners? Okay. Hearing none. We will let Jeremy go if he likes to leave, unless he wants to sit down and talk about redevelopment authority stuff.
Now, I serve on a planning commission, and I'm in front of now 3 different planning commissions for different projects I'm on. So I don't mind going home.
Well, thank you very much, Jeremy. We hope to see you at the workshop meeting.
Yes.
But once again, we're so glad to see you.
Thanks for having me.
And to meet you. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Okay. Next up, we have the Reading Redevelopment Authority requesting reuse recommendations for the reuse of 3 properties. And Paige Brookings is here with us, and I'll turn it over to her to explain a little bit about the process and why we're doing this.
So the 3 properties that are presented here tonight are blighted properties that we're trying to acquire through eminent domain. So that's why we're coming to the commission. To my understanding of how the process works is to receive this request for use recommendation from the commission for that. Knowing that 228 Moss Street is a commercial, when we did our research and our goal with this is knowing that it's in the R3 residential zoning area, we really want to clean up that block in the neighborhood. And the next RA will work with the next responsible owner as we then sell that property, ensuring that they have a timely plan of how they're going to execute rental of that multi-use, turning that into more of a multi-use property. This is a larger. The other 2 are just single family homes.
Okay, very good. Okay, any questions from the commissioners?
Mr. Chair, just to clarify, you said is it going to be multifamily or multi-use, like commercial?
Multifamily.
Multifamily,
Yes.
thank you. So that the recommendation would be correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, do I hear a motion to recommend to the Reading Redevelopment Authority the reuse of 228 Moss Street from a commercial property to a multifamily residential development.
So move.
Dan?
Peter,
Nelson? Question on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, one. Okay, next up, we have to recommend to the Reading Redevelopment Authority the reuse of 645 Locust Street as a single-family residence. Okay. Motion?
Yes. Peter,
Second.
Peter? Nelson? Yeah, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the last one is to recommend to the Reading Redevelopment Authority the reuse of 645 Locust Street. Or, yeah,
Yeah, there's a typo there.
that's what happens when you copy and paste.
Yeah.
Okay, the reuse of 311 Hollenbach Street as a single-family residence.
So move.
Okay, Nelson, second?
Yep.
Danny? Okay, question on the motion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Very good. So now the redevelopment authority can move forward on these three. Oh yeah, just take a picture because those I read off exactly what the motion is, so you'll know what that is. The okay, very good. Thank you for coming in, Paige. This is like the first time in a few years we've done one of these. So we wish you great success, especially with 228 Moss Street.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Commissioners.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, and I commend the Reading Redevelopment Authority and the work that you guys are doing. I know that we just improved yesterday for the eminent domain of the Center Avenue property. And I look forward to continue seeing us as a city continue to work together to make sure that either these properties are being upkept or developed. And if they're not, then we need to start taking strides to make sure that we're creating a better city.
Absolutely.
Yes, and with the mention of that, Jamie's talking about 2040 Center Avenue, the old bank next to the next to baseball town. So we'll see how that goes. All right, we don't have any plans requiring time extensions. So we will go on to the plans requiring reaffirmations. So do I hear a motion to reaffirm the Berkshire Building Land Development Plan first approved on April 22nd, 2022 as resolution number 24-2022? Okay, Danny, second?
Second.
Okay, Nelson? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Next up, we have. Yeah, there it is. Next up, we have to reaffirm the 19th, a motion to reaffirm the 19th Ward Pump Station revised preliminary final land development plan last approved on October 22nd, 2024, conditioned on the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated August 23rd, 2025. Okay, motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Will. Nelson? Question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, and finally, on our reaffirmation list, do I hear a motion to reaffirm the McDonald's restaurant land development plan located at 901 Spring Street, last approved on October 22nd, 2024, conditioned on the applicant resolving all issues referenced within the review letter by Hawk Valley Associates dated August 23rd, 2025. Okay. Motion? Danny? Second?
Peter.
Peter? Okay, question on the motion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed? Okay, good.
Tim and Jerome, I sent you the draft agreements today with the two questions. If you get back to me, we can finalize those. Simple questions, so.
Great. Okay, we have no waivers today. We have, I didn't bring it with me, but anyway, the Borough of West Reading is asking for a letter of support for their DCED grant application in their for the rehabilitation of the trail system along Playground Drive. Okay, do you have anything on this, Tim?
Yeah, just the comment that we do endorse it with the condition that the trail be constructed such that it will continue to accommodate the City of Reading Public Works maintenance trucks. The City of Reading has a pump station out there, very small pump station, but it's one that's been there for a while, and we do maintenance, and we need to run trucks down that trail as we currently do. So the renovations would have to continue to accommodate the trucks, and also the access easement would remain effective as well.
All right. Okay, any questions from the commissioners?
Yep.
Nope.
Okay. All right, then do I hear a motion to provide a letter of support to the Borough of West Reading in their pursuit of a Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development grant for the rehabilitation of the trail system along Playground Drive, with the conditions that the trail system will continue to accommodate public works vehicles and the access easement to remain. The letter of support will include the assurance that the work proposed is in accordance with the subdivision and land development and zoning ordinances, as well as the comprehensive plan of the City of Reading.
So move.
Okay, thank you, Nelson.
Welcome.
Okay. Second,
Peter.
Danny? Question on the motion?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment quickly, Mr. Chairman, this as well. That what we learned from the workshop was that the one pedestrian bridge was the former vehicular, motorized access bridge. So it's a connection point between the borough of West Reading and the city of Reading. And there's also some integration with trails. So it is something that is certainly important for us in the city of Reading as well.
Mhm.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Okay. Simon, you get to write the letter. Okay, that sounds great. Okay. Next up, we have the zoning amendments for short-term rentals. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this zoning amendment? Okay. Then do I hear a motion to recommend to the City Council of Reading the adoption of the zoning amendment to regulate short-term rentals as presented?
So move.
Dana? Nelson? Okay, question on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
Just for the record, there was one editorial note to be corrected, just to clarify that short-term rentals are permitted by special exception in Part 3 and by right within the CC, CR, CN, and CH.
Very good.
It'll be then dated today and then sent to the city council.
Okay, very good. All right, Sarah, do we have any reports from members of the planning commission? Great, I just have here, I don't have it on. Oh, yes, at the so the next zoning hearing board is September 10th, 2025, and one thing that is on that, two things that will interest the planning commission is the appeal by the Reading Parking Authority for 210 Maple Street, where they want to put another parking lot. They're asking for basically all the same things they asked for on the plan we reviewed today. And then 842 Nichols Street, seeking a special exception approval to adaptively reuse the existing building. So we might eventually see that one. Okay, anything else from the commissioners? Hearing
Yes,
none.
Mr. Chairman, question for
Oh,
Commissioner.
go ahead, Will.
Commissioner. Oh, sorry, there's a delay, sorry. Question for Commissioner DeCarlo, how's your building coming along?
So sold both of them.
Oh,
So,
great.
Oh, you sold it, okay.
Good to hear,
I was
so-
wondering.
yeah,
Things are going well.
yeah. Yeah, we sold 240 Penn Street, former Carlos Bar and Grill, that sold to Fanata. And I'm hoping by the end of the year they're up and running. It's gonna be their lending office and I guess like an actual bank that they're gonna use. They started out, I guess they have a big presence in Philadelphia. And they're also in Harrisburg, Allentown, Lancaster. They've been working on like Reading stuff out of Lancaster office, so they'll finally have a Reading headquarters. And then Alan Schuman bought across the street at 249 Penn Street, the Beaver Bus Terminal. And I think he already seen sketches like in a Reading Eagle of what he's
Actually,
the other building next to the bus terminal building.
Yeah, the executive director of the Reading Science Center showed me a sketch.
Yeah.
Because
They'll be in the old, I think the old terminal building and then the new built are supposed to be apartments.
Yeah.
So
So
it'll be
that would be
interesting.
plenty.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
It's an
the application.
interesting project.
Yeah,
Yeah, so for it's gonna be a bank at 240.
Yeah.
And they, formerly called Community First Funding. And so they rebranded, now their name is Finanta. And
Mhm.
so they'll be, you can have permits and to change the use to be a bank, and then, they'll have like an ATM and things like that, so.
the
that's
credit
pretty
union,
cool.
they're gonna have a credit union there, I believe.
Yeah, credit
Yeah.
union.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's great, great news to hear. Wow, all right. Okay, okay, our upcoming meetings, next planning commission workshop meeting is September 16th, 2025 at 5:30 PM. And hopefully I'll remember because I almost forgot this month.
Yeah, me
And
too.
the
That
next
was a
regular
fix.
planning. And the next regular planning commission meeting is September 23rd, 2025 at 6 PM. So with that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second.
Okay. Peter? Nelson? Okay, question on the motion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, opposed? All right, we are out of order. Once again, thank you everyone for your patience as we go through these pretty significant agendas. But as I think we're seeing that our work is paying off, that there are lots of things happening in the city of Reading. And
Yes.
for example, 601 South 6th Street. I never in a million years would thought that somebody would develop that property. And hey, somebody's developing it. So, all right, thanks again, everyone, and have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
All right.